Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. We have a fantastic show today, and we have a lot to talk about. To my super chat, or to Eric H526 and Luke St. Martin, thank you very much. To my super chat, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, so I appreciate your support. I don't have political action committees like some people that funnel money from one PAC to another. And I just want to thank you for your support. I found it very interesting today. Well, first of all, Coney Barret is going to be President Trump's third Supreme Court justice. There's nothing that they can do. They lost the election in 2016. The people have already voted. It's not court packing. They're trying to say it's court packing, which is hilarious. So, Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you very much for being the two best moderators in all of YouTube. It's not court packing to simply engage in your constitutional duty. It is the president. The president is the president's role to pick Supreme Court judges. They're trying to say this is packing the courts now. No, packing the courts is adding Supreme Court justices, which is absurd, which is something that they claim they want to do, but they won't do. Just like Medicare for All and a Green New Deal legislation, not a political stunt, a public relations ploy like a resolution that they couldn't even vote on in the Senate. But they have only themselves to blame. They elevated President Trump. This is their own writing. The campaign emails stated that they want to elevate President Trump because they were so arrogant. They thought that he was so out of touch with the American public, bringing home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts, ending interventions, ending military quagmires. Gosh, so out of touch. So they wanted to elevate President Trump. They cheated Bernie Sanders. Then we have to hear from Senator Amy Klobuchar, the truth matters. And then she quotes a completely debunked Atlantic article where you have a journalist and a publication the day before the journalistic equivalent to the Titanic, the day before the article saying that President Trump denigrated fallen Americans, Madam Secretary was published. And you watch, Madam Secretary will be there at the end. She will usurp or take over somehow for Biden. But Clinton was published in the Atlantic a day before. A journalist quotes President Trump from out of nowhere. He had sources that say that President Trump denigrated fallen Americans. And Amy Klobuchar tells Coney Barret the truth matters. And then she promptly quotes an article that has no backing, no evidence. Just like when the New York Times says President Trump paid $750 in taxes. There's no evidence. There's no backing. There's no evidence for the Steele dossier. There's no evidence for the Atlantic article. There's no evidence for the New York Times article that says Trump paid $750 in taxes. There's no evidence that he withheld military assistance. They never had any direct evidence of anything like that. They just like there's no direct evidence that Uranium One gave millions in order to, facilitate a deal of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. There's no direct evidence, but there's circumstantial evidence beyond belief. There's far more circumstantial evidence for Clinton's alleged criminal activity, both of them, than President Trump, because there's no money flow to President Trump from anywhere. There's a tremendous amount of money flowing. 85 donors gave $156 million to the Clinton Foundation. Do you think they did that for their health? So it would be interesting to see what would happen if 85 donors gave $156 million to one of Trump's foundations. But, ladies and gentlemen, be here at 9 p.m. this evening. 9 p.m. this evening. And after this, immediately after this, I'll have an H.A. Goodman's Other Channel segment. And immediately after my 9 p.m. segment, I'll have an upload on this channel. So I'll be doing 2 live streams, 2 uploads a day. The first upload will be on H.A. Goodman's Other Channel right after this live stream. The second upload will be on after the 9 p.m. live stream on this channel, and it'll also be on this channel like around 10 or 11:30 whenever I finish the live stream. If you want to be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. But I find it so amusing when Amy Klobuchar today, in front of Amy Coney Barret, trying to list off the things, and then she says something like, well, he's so divisive. Oh, then he said another lie she told, in addition to the lie that was a quote attributed to him that he never said. I'm working on an article of like about 6 or 7 things Trump never said that Democrats believe he said, but including the both sides myth, hoax. He literally condemned supremacists and racists within that discussion or within that quote or press conference. I mean, these people lie all the time. That's all they do is lie. And then they say Trump lies. Then they say, I find this really amusing. Amy Klobuchar told Amy Coney Barrett, well, he's dividing this country. From the second Trump won. Look up what Madonna said she wanted to do to the White House. I can't even say it on YouTube. That's a Secret Service investigation right there that never happened. From the second Trump won, all you had is venom, vitriol, the most apoplectic, seething, fuming, hysterical, fanatical, rabid, maniacal reaction to Trump winning. And then they say he's dividing our country. They never gave him a chance. Never. When Madam Secretary said, well, I wanted to give him a chance. This is the same person who purchased a dossier to begin investigating Trump before he won. Then you have Amy Klobuchar saying, well, he divides this nation. And then he doesn't tell the truth. Oh, and then another lie. He doesn't want to transfer power peacefully. They didn't transfer everything they accused Trump of saying, which he doesn't say. They're guilty of. He never said he's not going to peacefully transfer power. He said he's going to fight if he sees cheating. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They're a bunch of cheaters. There's a South Philly election judge, Democrat, who is stuffing ballots for Democrats. He pled guilty. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They cheated him in Iowa in 2020 with an app. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace. Amy Klobuchar, by the way, I would love to know the truth behind why Amy Klobuchar dropped out of the 2020 presidential contest a day before, hours before Super Tuesday, when Minnesota was on the ballot. She didn't want to win her home state. She's a senator from Minnesota. She didn't want to win Minnesota. I want to know this. Mayor Pete drops out right before as well. He doesn't want to get hundreds of thousands of votes from California and other states. The man is running for president. He won Iowa. Quote unquote, won Iowa. Amy Klobuchar is running for president, but she doesn't want to win Minnesota. Is that a deceitful act, or is that the truth? So these people pontificate and they grandstand. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a really, really interesting poll here. It's from so Robert C. Cahaly Chief pollster at Trafalgar Group. Awesome. Everyone should if you're on social, I'm not on social media. I don't have Twitter. I wish this man had a YouTube channel, because they need to start a YouTube channel right now, because they're going to be correct, and the Trafalgar Group will be rock stars. Even more, like Rasmussen was just right. These men and women are like out there, trying to tell people, hey, this what you see is not happening. Like what you're hearing in the media is not happening. But this is a Pew Research poll that he tweeted out from Dave Wasserman. And I want everyone to pay attention to this, because this is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay? New Pew Research poll. Biden leads 69-27 among those who plan to vote by mail. Trump leads 63-31 among those who plan to vote on Election Day. There are more voters on Election Day. Okay? And he already surpassed, like, pretty profound leads in terms of mail-in ballot leads already in Florida and in North Carolina and other states in 2016. Okay, according to Nate Silver, he outperformed by 16 percentage points. In North Carolina, and by even a greater margin in Florida. So you look, and in North Carolina, Clinton won the early vote by 2.5 percentage points. But Trump won Election Day vote by almost 16 percentage points. Okay, bringing him a 3.6 margin in a 3.6% margin of victory in North Carolina. So, I mean, their only hope is mail-in ballots, and then they don't realize that Republicans also turn in mail-in ballots, and then they don't realize that a lot of mail-in ballots will be thrown out because of no witness, faulty signature, wrong address, whatever. Same thing with Florida. Trump was down 250,000 votes in Florida, and he won by 112,000 votes. So he outperforms on Election Day. More people go to the polls on Election Day. People see, Democrats are like, well, no, they forgot that people go to the polls. They have convinced themselves that, well, protesting is safe. Having 4 primaries without a protective covering mandate, where a great many people were wearing, some not wearing. In Wisconsin, in the rain, while they had a primary in Wisconsin that they didn't call a super spreader. Why didn't they call this primary a super spreader? Why didn't they call their primaries super spreaders? They didn't, because they save that for anything they don't like. They're going to lose again. They are going to lose again. And when they lose, they're not going to be able to come to terms with it. And they're going to be even more frightening and pathetic and apoplectic and seething and fuming and hysterical than usual. And there's really nothing that I just can't tell you how there's no way to know how they're going to react to losing. There's just no way to know that. There's just no way to know how they're going to react. And that's why, like, every Trump supporter has to vote early. It's not just, voting is not the only thing you need to do. You need to vote early. You have to vote early. Okay? If you don't vote early, that's a huge problem. You got to vote early, and President Trump will have no problem winning. As it is right now, the polls are completely meaningless. They're meaningless. They're a reflection of the most hysterical media coverage you can ever imagine. 92% negative. 92% negative. Harvard says 80% negative media coverage his first 100 days. Media Research Center says 92% negative media coverage throughout his election. So you're talking about the polls have come out saying, Biden is ahead. Well, there's never been a person on the planet that ever said Biden is good because of this reason. I'm voting for Biden because of who he is. This is why I cannot truly believe they're going with this man. And I have stated since 2017, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. If they're duplicitous and disingenuous and hypocritical enough to do everything they've done to this point, don't be surprised when my prediction takes place. And I don't care if it's a week before the election. I don't know how they would do it. I never knew how they were going to do it. I was still saying the same thing in March or April, after Biden had quote-unquote sealed up his nomination. The whole process is rigged anyway. Ask Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So I don't know how it's going to happen, but I can't believe that Madam Secretary is in the business of writing Medium articles in praise of Joe Biden. This is like Caligula or Nero inviting you to a party in your honor. If that happens, you're what's for dinner. Don't go. When Caligula or Nero invite you to a party to celebrate you, don't go to that party. It ain't going to be fun. So, I do not trust the Democratic Party at all. But President Trump is going to win. I've been saying this since 2016. This will be the second election that I accurately predict. And NPR quoted me below. It's below in the pinned comment. And my website's coming out, so you'll love that, with all my writing and a whole bunch of good things, the NPR quote. But ladies and gentlemen, Amy Coney Barrett is amazing. She is not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to bully Amy Coney Barrett. And here you have, this is the type of media, America, like political left we have in this country. When Kavanaugh was accused of something almost certainly he never did, okay, because Tara Reid has evidence, like in the form of her mother, or I should say circumstantial evidence beyond belief, calling a 1993 Larry King call-in, talking about, alluding to exactly what Reid was alleging. If you want to just, believe an accusation, Tara Reade, and she filed a criminal case. Okay? Nobody has ever filed a criminal case against Trump or his second Supreme Court justice. But when Kavanaugh was indignant and trying to defend himself from allegations where there's no place, there's no time, there's no location. They didn't even have a location. People were making fun of his face. People were making fun of, they were trying to say that he was bratty or snobby or, oh, look at the rich, successful justice. Trying to, I don't know, I forgot exactly what they were doing. I can kind of explain it better. Like, I could explain it, but I forgot exactly how they were trying to explain his indignation. But they were making fun of him. They were making fun of him. And if they were in that position, and some of them have been, they wouldn't want to be mocked the way they mocked that man. But see, that's the left. That's the Democratic Party. That's the Democratic Party. They engage in behavior that they would never allow. For themselves. But Amy Coney Barrett is awesome. She talked about how it's interesting. She would be the first Supreme Court justice in a long time, or at least currently, that wasn't from Harvard or Yale. She said, I could teach you a little something about football, something like that, because she's from Notre Dame. And she talked about her family, 7 kids. She's the first justice to have school-age kids. And it's interesting because they're trying desperately to find some way to denigrate or to undermine Amy Coney Barrett, and they really can't. So what they're doing is they're just repeating lies about Trump. Josh, thank you. That's all they're doing. And so they know that it's going to hurt them. Like if they try to go after this woman and try to undermine who she is because of her faith, it's going to hurt them. Everything they do from here on out is going to hurt them. And this is going to help Democrats. Republicans in the Senate. Because people will realize now, okay, if you don't vote, you're going to not be able to get a person like Amy Coney Barrett. Especially if Democrats who want to defund police while at the same time erasing the Second Amendment. That doesn't make any sense. That really doesn't make any sense. And you have Biden saying, I'm not going to tell you if I'm going to pack the courts. Well, that is also, it's interesting too, because media has been they've treated Biden like this newborn quail. They've treated him, they just want to hold him and protect him. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They've treated Biden like this newborn quail. And, it's like, William R. Abrams. You need a beanie with a propeller. William R. Abrams III. Thank you. Quentin Baca. Go Raiders. We did it, baby. That's right. I knew that there was a huge victory ahead. I knew it. And I knew the Raiders always play rivals tough, whether it's the Chiefs or the Broncos or San Diego. Quinton Baca, thank you. Gruden always has something good. Always has something good to give. Thank you, Quinton Baca. William R. Abrams, thank you so very, very much. William R. Abrams, thank you. I'll get one. I'll get one for tonight. Biden hits Trump on trade, economy, and Ohio speech. He's not going to win Ohio. He's let you down. There's no chance. Okay, I have no clue. I cannot even imagine how anyone could believe Biden is a viable candidate. The media has completely ignored every absurd, outlandish, bizarre, weird, frightening thing he said, from the fact he's running for Senate. He stated he's running for Senate. He's not running for Senate. To his meandering off into like bumbling and stumbling has nothing to do with an impediment. They lie all the time. They lie all the time. He never spoke in that manner. And then you have Newsweek. Biden given 8.5 lead from pollster that predicted Donald Trump win. I think that they're... So, yeah, but Trafalgar is the new Rasmussen or International Business Times. So these polls are completely off. They were completely off in 2016. They were completely, and they're going to be completely off now. And anyway, it's the swing state polls. The national polls are completely irrelevant. Ben A, thank you for all the support on everything. Ben A, thank you. Thank you, Ben, for your support and for always watching. And please be here in November. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have an amazing time. I cannot imagine. Ben A, thank you so very much, Ben. I cannot fathom how anyone in their right mind thinks that Madam Secretary would write a Medium article saying that Biden should be president. That's they've tipped their hands already. There's no way. There's no way the Clintons are going to give the keys to the castle they want back to Biden, of all people. It's like not even possible in my mind. But if they did, they would lose. Democrats, here you go. This is 3 hours ago. Joe Biden says he's running for Senate. Thank you, Donald J. Trump. It's on Trump's channel. They don't cover these things. Media doesn't cover any of his gaffes. They don't cover any of his scandals. They impeached Trump simply for discussing the possibility of investigating a legitimate controversy. It's never a legitimate controversy when it's Democrats looking at themselves. They don't have any suspicion, and media is complicit. Media is an extension. Look, media is an extension of the Democratic Party. It's not. You don't get 92% negative coverage when President Obama had like 50% negative coverage, and even the negative coverage during his administration wasn't combined with suspicion. They would report on a story, but never add any sentiment of suspicion. They would never say, well, and also this could lead to, or he could have done this. With Trump, it's always what he could have done. It's never what Clinton could have done with private servers. If Trump had private servers, he would have been, oh my God, he could have been selling nuclear launch codes for a golf course in Russia. Sarah Borders! Sarah, thank you. Sarah, thank you so very much. Sarah Borders, thank you. Ben A., thank you. Sarah Borders, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Christopher! H.A., been with you since the oil painting shirt days. Love you, brother. Keep it up. Christopher, thank you so very, very much. Christopher, you've been here since day one, literally. I really thank you for that, Christopher. And Sarah and Ben, thank you as well. Christopher, thank you. It's been a nice, fun ride. It's been an interesting ride. And it's so much better, Christopher, it's so much better supporting President Trump than being on the left. The left is the most unhealthy place. It's all about judgment and condemnation. That's all that it's about. The left is about judgment and condemnation, and that's it. That's all it's about. Christopher, thank you again for being here from day one. Sarah, thank you so very much. Sarah, have a wonderful day. Ben, thank you. Ben A., thank you. But they're stuck on national polls, which are completely irrelevant. We have the Electoral College. Swing state polls are moving towards Trump. You think on election night they're going to care about national polls? They're in for a world of hurt. 2016 is going to look like the best time of their lives. They're not, I don't think they're emotionally or psychologically ready or spiritually ready. If that even applies to the left. But, it does, obviously, but spiritually ready, they're not ready. They're going to need Marianne Williamson's healing touch when they lose to President Trump again because of their treachery. The definition of treachery is what the Democrats have done for the past 4 years. Setting up and framing an innocent man, which is what Kamala Harris and her prosecutors had presided over. Jamal Trulove, innocent man. They incarcerated him for a crime he didn't commit. But they're not even reporting on this, Tara Reid. They have erased her from the equation. And you saw what they did during the last Supreme Court nomination. It was Operation Cackle Screech. They stormed the Capitol. They tried to get into Jeff Flake's elevator. They tried to get into Orrin Hatch's elevator, and he's like, toodaloo, bye. Orrin Hatch is like, what do I do? Do I press down? I don't know what to do. It's like, sorry, no, Jeff Flake, yeah. It's like, just press down. Press the down arrow. They're not going to hurt you. He had this pained look on his face. The protester went, just go down the elevator. It's okay. You're all right. You're all right. And then with Tara Reid, you don't hear anything. It's completely... And then you have Hollywood celebrities literally saying, okay, I believe her, but I don't care. So they don't have... You cannot run on values and principles when you have none. You can't say, I believe in this, you need to believe in this, and then when it comes down to whether or not you truly believe in something, you go for the political utility. And you go for what's politically expedient. You can't do that. They don't understand. They have no clue. They are completely clueless about pertaining to hypocrisy. They have no idea what hypocrisy is, and they don't care. They just don't care. They don't really... hypocrisy is not important. Jason Gates, thank you. Jason, thank you. CG3SSF, hello. They always, they're trying to go after Amy Coney Barrett. This is Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's and Thanksgiving come early. You're going into November 3rd with a victory already. 6-3 Supreme Court is demoralizing to Democrats. Already it's a victory. Then they say, well, the mail-in ballots are going to reflect the polls. The polls are a reflection of media coverage. They're not a reflection of public sentiment. If they were a reflection of public sentiment, you wouldn't get a 17-point lead by Clinton a day before the election in 2016 from a university poll. I forgot which one it is. I can tell you, I guess, right now. Hopefully, can I tell you? Where is this poll right here? There was a 17-point lead. All right, let's see here. Okay. Where is that poll? Oh, come on. There was a poll, ladies and gentlemen, that I'll get to. This was a day before the election. A day before the election. And it's one of the best polls you could ever imagine. Theresa King! Trump will start his media outlet once he is out of office, at least. That's my hope. Once we get another Democrat in Trump Jr. or Mike Pompeo. Theresa, I like Trump Jr. I don't like Mike Pompeo. So I don't think I'd vote for Mike Pompeo. But Trump Jr. I would vote for. The Trump family I trust. Because he had to, nudge Pompeo from Madam Secretary's emails. Theresa King, thank you. But Trump Jr., yes. University poll, Clinton up 17 November 2016. Okay, where is this? Clinton here. Siena College Research Institute. Clinton carries 17-point lead over Trump into final days. This is November 6th, 2016. Theresa, everyone here. Vegas and Bama, hello. A 17-point lead on November 6th. So, this tells me that the polls are complete and utter nonsense. A 17-point lead, and they say the margin of error is 4 points. Well, it's a lot more than 4 points. That was a 20-point differential. Or no, a 14-point differential. Clinton carries a 17-point lead on November 6th. Did that happen? So I don't understand this reverence of polls. They never learn. They literally worship these things. They worship polls. They worship the polls. The polls are like false idols. They're like worshiping a empty Pepsi can on the sidewalk. And you have Clinton carries a 17-point lead over Trump at the final days. Oh, well, it's not the aggregate. Well, the aggregate nationally was wrong because on election night, President Trump won the popular vote. And then what happened is California gave the 3 million votes that Clinton needed to get the 3% lead nationally. So they never qualified the national vote obsession in 2016 with, well, you know what, she'll lose the Electoral College, but at the end of the day, she'll get that popular vote lead with California. Then they say, well, more people voted for Clinton. It's like, well, she outspent Trump 2-1, and the media is not a neutral arbiter. The media is pulling for one side. This affects people that are on the fence. This also bolsters enthusiasm that doesn't exist among Democrats. If you had a neutral media, if you had a media that with a slight bias, Democrats would be done. They would have no enthusiasm at all. As it is, there's a tremendous enthusiasm gap. And every scandal pertaining to Trump has been fabricated. He never worked with Russia. He didn't withhold military assistance to go after Biden. That was a legitimate concern that should have been addressed. Just like President Obama's administration went to the UK, to London, flew there to investigate Trump. Why? Why did you have bureau agents like Strzok flying to London? Why did you have all of these intelligence reports from other countries pertaining to Trump? Oh, so that's okay, but Trump can't discuss a potential criminal act or a potential corrupt act with President Zelensky, who stated that he was never leveraged. There was no leverage. He was never given an ultimatum. After this election, I don't know how the polling industry will survive. I don't know how establishment media, mainstream media, is going to rebound. They rebounded in 2016 by saying, well, it was a fluke, it was an anomaly, all the smartest people believed in something, so they're still smart because everyone believed in the same thing, which turned out to be wrong. They're very confident when all of them are wrong. Well, as long as they're all saying absurd things, they're fine. The support for President Trump around this country, he's going to get a lot more votes than he did. He'll get more votes than he did in 2016. He'll get more votes. Biden on election day is going to look to get completely swamped if they go with Biden. I think that Clinton is going to... I find it very difficult to believe that Nero or Caligula or Madam Secretary would write a Medium article saying that Biden should be president. This does not make any sense to me. This does not make any sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense at all to me. And they're looking at Amy Coney Barrett's faith. Here we go with another another absurd every man who supports Amy Coney Barrett's motherhood supports a president who ripped family members away from their mothers at the border. It's like, he didn't... Okay, so if he personally did that, did President Obama personally give the same family members to people who, let's just say, bought and sold human beings, which is what the Senate panel talked about? The Senate, there's a Senate panel that talked about worse behavior. The left is hilarious. They finally found, Stephen Miller. Oh, yeah, he's a supremacist. Oh, what about the supremacists in President Obama's administration? They're okay, huh? They presided over worse. I could pretty much bet that this person and other people still bringing up, and President Trump was wrong in that policy. He ended that policy with an executive order, and everyone bringing up that policy doesn't know the Senate panel findings of the horrendous atrocity that took place that was worse than the separation, which was already horrible, and I disagreed with that. I disagree with that. But they don't realize, I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it on YouTube. But it was a Senate finding and inquiry, or Senate investigation into President Obama's immigration practices that found worse, more atrocious, a much greater travesty, and nobody knows what happened to those human beings to this day. So did President Obama personally do that? See, they play politics with hyperbole, but if you want to play that game, you'll lose at that game. Because President Obama did worse during his administration. He was able to get away with infinitely worse, according to liberal sensibilities, because the media covered up. So whether it was drinking Flint water, do you think that they would allow President Trump to engage in a failed NATO intervention that destroyed a country, or drink poisonous water? Media never followed up on things that made no sense in President Obama's administration, or controversies or scandals. They never followed up. They simply reported, left it. They reported on it, maybe asked a couple questions, but didn't demand answers, and that's it. You have to understand also, like, these people, like, whether it's career diplomats, career federal employees, journalists, publishers, editors, in the mainstream, they're all going to the same functions. The museum opening, or the gallery, museum, theater, tech park opening, the Democratic fundraising. They're all going to the same lunches and dinner parties, and they're not walking in with a Make America Great Again hat, because you ain't getting any hors d'oeuvres or drinks, or you're not even allowed in. You think if you go to, you think if you're a New York Times or Washington Post journalist, or let's say an intelligence official or former intelligence official, or anyone who's an establishment character, you think you could walk into a dinner party with a Make America Great Again hat? You would be kicked out. They'd probably say, "Oh my God, it's not Halloween. Why are you even wearing that? What's going on? Is this some kind of joke? Did you lose a bet?" And could you imagine if you were a Washington Post journalist saying, "Oh yeah, well, I'm voting for President Trump." What? You're voting for who? These people care about their paradigm. They care about upholding their paradigm of thought. They care about fitting in. That's all. That's all they care. Thank you, Eric H526. Greatly appreciated. They care about fitting in and adhering to a paradigm of thought. That's it. Teresa King, thank you again. They don't care about anything else. So, I mean, when President Trump, this is 83,000 views in a couple of hours. And you're looking at a disparity of 30 points. So here, Pew Research 63-31 lead, 32-point disparity, 32-point disparity. And more people vote on election day than through mail-in ballots. More people vote. Okay, for a great many people, it makes more sense to just go to the polls than mail it. They want their vote. They don't want their vote forgotten or shredded. Because if it's Trump, you better believe that that's a possibility. Then they say, this is the biggest lie of all. They say, warning, this information is false. There's no evidence that mail-in ballots lead to... And then they get into the typical semantic... quagmire. So Trump says the system is going to be overwhelmed with mail-in ballots that it won't be able to handle, and a great many, I'm worrying, of my ballots will be shredded because Democrats have been known to cheat. Ask Bernie Sanders. Warning! Flashing lights. This is suspect news. This is not true. This is a lie. Well, what's the lie? He's suspicious that a system that can't handle all of these ballots would benefit Democrats because Democrats are known to cheat. This is not true and a lie. There has never been a time where there's been another election in 2020 where a system has been overrun by ballots where Democrats have cheated. That has never happened before. How could it happen? We've never had 2020. What do you think? This is like you're going back in time? You can't even talk about what will happen. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I know. That's what he's worried about that. Wrong. This is news that will alter your mind in a very horrible way. Trump has suspicion about things he shouldn't be suspicious of. Therefore, he's lying. But they cheated Bernie Sanders. You know, they can't even find out who won Iowa in their own primary. And 100,000 ballots were rejected in California Democratic primary. These are isolated incidents, and in aggregate, they only account for a tiny percentage. Therefore, there's no reason for suspicion. Flashing lights and highlighted quotes from Trump. Do not believe. Do not believe. It's like this is the hall monitor. This is the hall monitor. This is the Sam Roth, my man, Sam Roth. This is the hall monitor political party and media. They want to, if they could take your hand and actually direct you to vote for Democrats, this is a new law. We're helping you. It's for your benefit. This is a robot that takes your hand and allows you to choose where to go. It just always goes Democrat. They would physically take your hand and tell you to vote their way if they could. But they're so petrified that you would think for yourself. They're so petrified. Do not believe this. This is a lie. We have fact-checked this, and there's absolutely no reason for... there's no reason for suspicion. There's no reason for suspicion. Ask Bernie Sanders and the South Philly judge who was convicted of stuffing ballots for Democrats. they're not going to be able to handle this. Because you got to understand also, when they lose the election, they don't really have, Jason Gates, thank you so very much, thank you. They don't really have, when they lose the election, they don't really have a fallback, like a plan B. They're not capable of saying, well, at least we have. People don't remember, and they don't understand that. They don't remember that President Obama had a really, profound, celebrated speech in 2004. He was a rising champion of the Democratic Party, like a star that was shining bright. They don't remember that. President Obama didn't just, I think he was even a state senator at that point. But he was waiting to take over the Democratic Party. They have nobody waiting. I'm waiting. Bernie, Russia wants you. Okay. They have nobody waiting to take over the Democratic Party. They'll just have a bunch of disgruntled people on the left on social media. That's it. So, when you have a 32-point disparity among people who vote, so Trump leads 63-31 among those who plan to vote on Election Day. So you're going to see any lead from mail-in ballots evaporate very soon on Election Day. Especially in Florida and Ohio. It'll probably be the first 2-3 hours. And more people vote on Election Day. And thankfully in Wisconsin, they're not accepting ballots after Election Day, which is fantastic. Why you would accept ballots after Election Day, I have no clue. Ladies and gentlemen, be here at 9 p.m. tonight. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a segment on Amy Coney Barrett right now. And so check out H.A. Goodman's other channel about 20 minutes from now. But less than that, about 10, 15 minutes from now. And, or actually, yeah, it is a segment on Amy Coney Barrett. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you so very much. William R. Abrams, do not tape your ballot to... Exactly. Madam Secretary needs to hear that. David, Lexi, hello. William R. Abrams, thank you. JSpot51, hello. Sam, thank you. Everyone be here at 9 p.m. tonight, everyone. Please, 9 p.m. tonight. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel in about 10 minutes. Great live stream. Thank you so much, everyone. See you at 9 p.m. this evening, Pacific. Thanks, everybody.